What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our SEC channel. I'm going to give you my pre-spring power rankings as we are not too far away from spring practices beginning. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on these teams. I've done a video on every single team in the SEC giving you my early thoughts on them. So if you want my thoughts on all these teams, you can go back and watch those videos. I'm not going to get, again, too in-depth. I don't want to make this a long video. So we're just going to basically take the information that I've given you in those videos and put together some rankings that will probably change again before the season starts. And they have changed since our way too early rankings. But here we go. We're going to start with number 16, and that's Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's still at the bottom. There's really no reason to put any other team in this spot. They didn't really do anything in the offseason to improve much. So I don't think Vanderbilt's going to be very good. I don't see them winning an SEC game. They're going to struggle, and I don't see that changing really anytime soon. So clearly to me, number 16 is Vanderbilt. Number 15 in Mississippi State. They dropped a little bit, not necessarily because I view them differently. I moved one team up. So yeah, Mississippi State, I think offensively, Jeff Lebby coming in is going to help them. They do lose a lot of key players on defense, and let's be honest, this team wasn't great last year. So if the offense can be really, really good, then Mississippi State can potentially climb out of one of these bottom few spots, but it's going to have to be really good because I don't think the defense is going to be as good as it was last year, and so I've got them at 15. And number 14 is South Carolina. This is a team that I think will actually be better on defense, but they're going to have question marks on offense. Spencer Rattler is gone. They did a ton in the transfer portal. They brought in a bunch of guys. They lost a bunch of guys. So it's going to be a different team. If Shane Bieber knows what he's doing and he gets the right players in there, this team could perhaps be better. But again, I have some questions about the offensive side of the ball. Again, defense I think is going to be pretty good, but there's a lot of good teams in the SEC, and right now I've got South Carolina at number 14. We got Arkansas at number 13. I've actually bumped them up a little bit. I like the pieces in the transfer portal. I think everything coming back. I look at some of the players that maybe could have gone on to the NFL that decided to come back, and so maybe that's something that's changed my mind a little bit about this team. I think I had them at 15 in the way too early ranking, so I've moved them up a couple of spots. I like what I'm seeing. I like what they've done with the roster. It's still going to be a struggle to get to a bowl game, but I think they're just ahead of where South Carolina and Mississippi State are right now. Like I said, this could change after we go through the spring. I'm sure we'll get different opinions. We'll get more research done on these teams. And, the transfer portal, it's not over yet. There are still going to be changes, still players entering the transfer portal after spring, and there's still guys out there that have not committed to teams. So Arkansas, number 13. Number 12 is Florida. I think we're going to get more of the same from them last year. The same that we got last year. Graham Mertz is back at quarterback. I think he's really underrated. But they need help around him. The defense has not been good for quite some time. So I think Florida's going to struggle once again. And with their schedule, I think they're going to struggle once again to get to a bowl game. You're looking at these teams from 12 and down. I could see all of them missing a bowl game this year. But the Gators are number 12. Number 11 is Auburn. Didn't make a move at quarterback. I think that's what's going to keep them from really making a jump up. They added a bunch of players at receiver, both in recruiting and the transfer portal. They're trying to find some wide receivers there. The run game should be really good. Offensive line should be pretty good. Defense, maybe not quite as good as they were last year, especially in the secondary. But this is a team that could surprise this year. They have a pretty favorable schedule. We'll see where Auburn winds up. But right now, I've got them at number 11. Number 10 is Kentucky. I've dropped them a little bit, losing Liam Cohen. That's a big loss on the offensive side. As their offensive coordinator. Question marks at quarterback. You've got an unproven transfer coming in there. Lost Ray Davis. So I think the offense could be, again, a pretty big question mark. I think their defense is going to be really good. I think this could be one of the better defenses in the conference. But Kentucky right now down to number 10. Up to number 9 is Texas A&M. I think Mike Elko's ready for this job. I look at the roster. They have a roster that's top 10 in the SEC, no doubt about it. Maybe even top 6, top 7. They've got talent still on this roster. Mike Elko did it quick at Duke, so I like their chances to be pretty good this year and maybe even be better than they were last year. So I've got the Aggies at number 9. At number 8, we got Oklahoma, so they've dropped a little bit. I think I switched them and the team that you're going to see number 7. But yeah, you look at Oklahoma, the defense should be really good. They've got a lot coming back on that side of the ball. It's going to be one of those Brent Venables type defenses. I think you're going to see, they improved this past year on defense. They're going to see them improve again in 2024. But offense is where I'm a little concerned. They lost like everyone on the offensive line. That is a huge concern. I know they brought in transfers, but you never know how that's going to work. You look at playmakers, they've got some pretty good ones, but they're not elite. And then at Jackson Arnold at quarterback, I don't know how good he's going to be. I haven't seen enough to make me think that he's going to live up to the hype. I'm not saying he won't, but it's hard to say right now. So Oklahoma, it's going to be about the offense. If the offense can be good, this team can be higher in the SEC. But if the offense struggles, they might wind up closer to 7 or 8. Number 7 for me is Tennessee. Now, I know we've got the investigation going on, and that could obviously change things, but I'm just going to ignore that and just look at the roster. I think they're going to be really, really good offensively. I think they're going to be better than they were last year on that side of the ball. And I think the defense has gotten better over last year was better, and I think it'll be similar this year. So I think Tennessee has a chance to be a surprise team this year. Again, a lot of weapons on offense, a really, really good offensive line, and a defense that's not going to be a liability. It may not be great, but I don't think it's going to be terrible. And so I think Tennessee, a team to watch there. I've got a number 7. LSU at number 6. This is one that's kind of tough right now. You like what they've done, especially with their defensive staff, bringing in some new coaches. Can the defense improve? That's going to be the big question. They haven't had really any problems with offense. I know Jaden Daniels is gone, but they still got a lot of talent. I don't think they'll be as good as they were last year on offense, but still pretty good there. And I think the defense can potentially get better. And maybe LSU can, LSU's kind of a team that I'm not sure about. Maybe they should be behind Tennessee and Oklahoma. Maybe they should be up another spot. It's very tough for me with LSU right now. It's the team I don't really have I guess I don't have a gut feeling on this team yet. Maybe we will after spring. But I've got a number 6 for now. Number 5 is Missouri, coming off of a great year. A lot of players coming back. They did lose some big-time players on defense, but overall, I still think this team should be very solid on that side of the ball. And then offense, they've got a lot of guys coming back. Cody Schrader is gone, but they've got other running backs that I think they're going to be ready to use. And you got maybe the best 1-2 punch at wide receiver in the conference. Cook is back. I mean, this team's going to be good again. I really feel like they will be. So I've got them here at number 5. Number 4 is Ole Miss. They bring almost everyone back. They really didn't lose much. Plus, they added a bunch of players in the transfer portal. I was actually debating putting Ole Miss at 3. That's how high I think this team can be. I've got them at 4 for now. Maybe by the time we get through spring, they'll be up to number 3. But as of right now, I've got them number 4. Defense is still, there are some question marks there, but this offense should be really good. Alabama is at number 3. I trust their defense a little bit more. Even with Nick Saban gone, they've still got so much talent on this roster. I think the defense can be pretty solid. Not as good as it has been in the past, but solid. And then offensively, they've got plenty of playmakers there. Jalen Milroe, of course, coming back. Kalen DeBoer taking over offensive mind. So I think they're going to be good offensively. And it's just going to be a question of how much drop-off there is on defense. If there's a lot, maybe they finish a little bit lower. But I've got them at 3 for now, which is down 1 spot. I think I forgot my arrow there. But Texas up to number 2. I did bump Texas up to number 2. A lot of talent coming back. They have, the defensive line, they're going to lose some good players. Secondary, they're going to lose, a couple of good players. But a lot of weapons on offense coming back. A lot that they've added in the transfer portal. I think this team did a fantastic job in the portal, and it's going to let them really be about where they were last year. I don't think we're going to see any drop-off. And then Georgia is still number 1 for me. This just looks like the best team in the SEC, the most complete team, the most talented team. I think they are clearly, I would say right now, clearly the best team in the country, just looking at their roster. So I think, Georgia is the team to beat. Texas, though, right behind them. And then you look at Alabama, Ole Miss, Missouri. Can one of those teams maybe make a run in the SEC? Or perhaps we get a surprise team from a little bit further back. But these are our pre-spring power rankings. Again, we'll do this again after the spring. We'll see what changes. It always does seem to change. And we'll see what those rankings look like. And then again, we'll do it before the season starts. Because we'll probably have more changes over the summer. But your thoughts on these power rankings, and give me your power rankings down in the comments below.